Oh, and we're back again in the virtual world, ready to play a game called The Tux Rebellion by Maniple Games. I think I've got that right for a change, Adam. Right?
Yeah.
Round of applause.
And that's a round of applause in itself. So once again, we find ourselves background a virtual table in the world of Tabletop Simulator. I've got to say, before we even get into this, that my fear of using online virtual tabletops is slowly diminishing as we've done more and more of these. I genuinely think they got better, but anyway, that's a different story for a different day. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on. Are you guys excited?
Yes.
Yeah. Very excited.
Will, have you read the rules?
Yes, actually. I read the rules and watched a video about it.
We'll see.
Amazing.
Right, let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, how you set up the game is you get the box out, and then you get the card organizers out, which is a key feature of the game. And then each player picks a faction, which is right here in the center. And it's separated out into Show Ball, Lotan, Kel, and Seventh Corps. That is the 4 factions in the base game. If we reach our stretch goal, that'll add an extra 5 factions.
Ooh, wow.
And these are just the deck of cards that run the faction along with the faction sheet. Show Ball is basically range and tech, magical tech. Lotan is the most straightforward of the base factions. They're defense tanky units. Nope. Kel is offense, so melee DPS. They're a little bit like that. And then Seventh Corps is the most complicated out of the base houses.
And
And
I will.
You want me to take that one?
yeah, they will have better units, but all of their units are more expensive, and they have generally more restrictions.
Okay.
So, and I'll explain those restrictions once everybody picks their faction.
So I'm guessing Seventh Corps. I'll try the hardest one. Go on then. Let's give it a go.
Hold down the mouse on that, Jamie. If you hold down, it should grab the whole lot.
Hold down. Okay, yeah. Oh, do you know what? I've become that type of person where technology and I just don't get on anymore. That's it. I need to retire. Right.
Yeah. Also, I'm in the colonies. I'm in the U.S., so
nice.
There's going to be some lag.
Okay.
Because I'm the server, quote unquote.
That's fine.
So if it gets too bad, we can have one of you host, because the game is available regularly on Tabletop Simulator right now.
Okay.
And it's better for me to lag than all of you guys.
Yeah.
That's fine. My virtual PC's in the States, so you and I are fine. It's just those other guys.
Yeah, I'm all right.
You guys are fairly familiar with Tabletop Simulator and the buttons of what does what?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've this is probably our 4th kind of playtest walkthrough of a game using Tabletop Simulator. I've created a prototype on here before, so I've got a decent idea of how it all kind of hangs together.
Oh, yeah. Different sections.
It's just whether our technology plays ball. If the mouse clicks work.
Up in the top right, you'll see a number, like 45 or 15. You can switch that to 90 degrees, so rotating things is faster.
Awesome.
Adam, what we doing?
Just rotating your deck round.
Oh,
Yours is okay, Jamie. This one down here, your Kel thing, the right hand side of yours.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I read upside down anyway, so I worked this out when I drove in London the other day. I completely misread a sign and ended up going down the wrong way.
Oh, the buildings, the ones that are upside down, those are the ones that aren't built. The ones that are right side up are built.
Okay.
That's fine.
There we go.
Okay, so the cards that you were given have the special house units that you have access to.
Mm-hmm.
So for Lotan here, you have access to most of the core units. The only core unit that you don't have access to is cavalry. You cannot train cavalry. However, in your slots where you can train units, you can put infantry into the cavalry slot. So you can actually have more infantry in the game than anybody else.
So
Which
on a
gives
piece of
you-
paper,
Go ahead.
on a piece of paper in front of me, should I write out the 2 cards I've got here, and so I can write down the things I'm putting in there, or will we be typing on here?
Did I send you the army sheet?
So
Should be just be a Word document that you can print out if you want to do that.
Okay.
Yes, house vote and faction card.
Ah, okay.
That'll be it.
Gotcha.
So, so that's the special thing for Lotan. They can not train Cav, but they have more infantry than anybody else. That gives them a lot of longevity because their units are already tanky. So it already makes a tanky house even more tanky, more defensive-minded. To offset the loss of cavalry, they can use cavalry attack and defense cards on their house units. Not on the core units, but on the house units. So your hand won't get choked whenever we explain what combat cards are.
Awesome.
And that's, so well-armed and well-armored. That's the house trait for Lotan, and that allows cavalry cards to be used on your house units. You can't use cavalry, and then you can put units in the cavalry section of your army sheet. So that's another trait. And I think the last house trait that the house has is you can swap your attack and defense stat on your house units for weapon swap. But once you do, that's permanent for that battle. Not the whole game, but that's permanent for that battle. So they can get a lot of DPS, but then their armor is going down. It's basically them focusing on using their warhammers just to destroy everything.
Okay.
All right, House Kell. They have a ranged unit and a melee unit for their specialty units. And then they also have a building. In the base game, they're the only house that has a specialty building to be built. They have access to all of the core units, so they're not restricted in core units at all. The special building they have is the Kell Academy, which is this one right here. And once it's built, other players can send their units there to get buffs to make their units a little bit stronger. You can only send each unit there one at a time, or once, and a maximum of 4 units can be at the academy at any given point. And the Kell player gets to pick who comes and who goes. The Kell player is paid 2 gold from the other players for each character sent. And then you have your special abilities that your units have. Ability cards are separated out into traits and abilities. Traits are something that's always on and triggers whenever the text can be triggered. Abilities are one-time use, and then you have to buy them back.
Okay.
Then going over here to 7th Corps, you don't have access to any of the core units. However, you have the largest house units to pick from. You have a ranged unit, an infantry unit, and a cavalry unit, but then you also have a specialty unit, healers. In the base game, nobody else has healers, so that's unique to this house.
Yeah.
They have the healing card, which is right here as a trait.
Yeah.
And as you can see, they're more expensive, generally speaking, but all of their stats are better.
Okay.
You have the house trait that you can't train core units, and then your other house trait is Lillian's Grace, which is on the faction card. That allows you to, once per round, get a positive internal or external deck out of these, a positive internal or external card out of these decks, and you can just draw it. You say, okay, I'm looking for a positive coin event, and you just draw it out. You do have to announce it to everybody, but you just draw it and put it into your hand.
Okay.
And that's a way to help yourself out.
Okay.
And then I'm playing Showball, which is a ranged house, and they focus on ranged units that are techie, and they're a little bit magic-like.
Okay.
And I'll just go over what my house does as I play it. The next thing that you do for setup, now that factions are done and everybody's got their buildings out that they start with, you start with a barracks, range, and keep. And it actually says on the card itself that it's a starter building.
Okay.
Then you have your internal and external deck right here. Every player has an internal and external deck. So for blue, it's right here.
Okay, yeah.
And for purple, it's over here.
Yeah.
And yellow, you've got it.
Awesome.
So the internal and external event decks, those are things that happen throughout the game. So external is what you do to other players. Internal is what happens within your own lands, theme-wise.
Okay.
And there are both good things and bad things in both decks. And so that's the rundown for that. They come in a number of flavors, which I'm just going to grab some cards. So out of the external deck, I'm putting it in here in the middle of the table. So you have negative events, which are things that do negative numbers, and you have positive events, things that do positive numbers. So you have things that affect every resource. Your resources are coin, wood, metal, and stone. So you have a corresponding card for each type. Here's some more examples. So you've got a wood one, you've got a stone, and these are positive ones. The two ways that these external events can be, these positive external events can be used, is you can use it to give another player a resource, +1 stone, or you can remove a negative event on a fellow player's building. So that's what the positive cards can be used for. The negative cards can be used for, you play it on other players to trip them up, to slow them down. So this is the sort of political intrigue part of the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I have found that people that are ultimately competitive, these cards do not stay in their hand for very long. They play them very quickly. And then I've seen people that are ultimately cooperative, to where those cards stay in their hands. All right, so out of the internal deck, you have the same sort of thing. You have the positive and negative resource-related cards. Then you also have battles, so revolts or betrayals that happen within your lands that you have to deal with. You also have specialty cards like these healers. They have the little infinity symbol, so they can be used whenever they want. So that is the internal deck. And internal deck, you can only use on yourself, or you can only use in very certain circumstances.
Okay.
Because they sort of represent what's going on in your lands.
Yeah. Interesting.
If you, I just heard that. If you put your cursor over these decks and tap R, it will shuffle them, and you'll want to do that.
Cool.
Okay, so that's pretty much set up. And now you pick who the main player is. The main player is just who's considered first player. And it doesn't come up often, but it does when things need to happen in a certain order. It's always like to the main player and clockwise.
Okay.
So how you determine that is with this die that will be provided in the game. You roll it, and the person with the highest is the main player for the first round. And then it goes clockwise. We got a 4. So far, 4 is highest. Another 4.
Jeremy, get high.
How you roll it?
Ah, yeah.
Oh,
There you
6,
go.
Jamie!
all right. So then the dice goes to you. So you're main player the first time around. So I'm just going to put these cards right here in the
Will.
center. All right. So now that main player and setup is done, you start going through your first round. And the first round starts with the first phase, which is draw phase. There are 4 phases in a regular game. So draw phase, build phase, conflict phase, discard phase. The draw phase starts with the draw war card, but only in turn 4, so we can skip that. And then gather resources. Now, in setup, everybody starts with the same resources. So if you have a scrap piece of paper that you want to use, or if you'd like to use the counters in the game, the number counters, that's fine too.
Okay. I'm just gonna
Which
get
would
a
you
piece of
like to
paper.
do?
Oh, I've got a piece of paper.
Shall we use number counters? Because then it's all...
Yeah.
We can't trust Will, you see.
Aw.
So if it's available for everyone to see, then it's open information like it would be in the game, right?
I suppose I
Yep,
can
it
put
is
it
open
underneath.
information.
I suppose I can use these.
All right,
Will,
so
drop me one now.
just let me. I'm going to color code them and copy them. So
Okay.
just give me a second.
Right.
So I'm going to do
It's like-
yellow, 4 coins. That's not a very good yellow, is it? Brown for wood. And, well, that's black for metal. That's fine. And then gray for stone.
Okay.
All right, so then... All right, so then that's done. Now we draw from the combat deck. The combat deck is the big deck that's right here, and it starts with the main player and then goes around the table.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that'll start with Jamie, and you draw 7 cards, and that's the maximum size of your combat hand. And once everybody has cards in their hand, I'll explain what they are and what they do.
Okay.
So which 7 cards am I drawing?
Right over here.
Oh, okay, that's fine. They're all over. So 7 of these.
Yep. So you can put your cursor over it and hit number 7, and it'll take 7 for you. And it'll put it directly in your hand. And there's 7 for you, and then 7 for me. And then
me.
7 for the cardinal.
And 7
And
for
7
me.
for the boss.
Okay.
All right, so the cards are separated out into the same categories as the units. So there are ranged, cavalry, and infantry cards, both offensive and defensive. The infantry cards are used on infantry, cavalry is used on cavalry, range is used on range. Fairly straightforward. The numbers that say like range attack plus tier 1 plus whatever, that's the damage, that's additional damage, and then obviously the defense lowers the amount of damage that you take.
Interesting.
So that is the combat cards. So we did that in the draw phase. So now we draw. Everybody simultaneously draws 1 internal and 1 external event cards from their deck. Just 1 and 1. Now, if your card that you draw has a sword on it, that is dealt with in the conflict phase. You don't have to deal with it right now. However, if it has a down arrow, you have to deal with it immediately.
Do we take that in turn order? So, for instance, I have one which has got a down arrow in it. Do I play that now, or do I wait for other people before me to play theirs?
So, when it says draw internal event card, everybody simultaneously draws 1 card, and any that need to be used immediately, you just put it down, and, oh no, a battle. It's a tier 1 battle. That's not good. Okay, so that's that, and then Jamie got a worker accident, so don't minus any of your stone because you don't have any. So I'll explain what this negative event does first. So he has this negative event, and it's a do now, so it's a down arrow. What this does is it applies to your buildings and lowers their output. However, because Jamie doesn't have a finished quarry yet, there's nothing for this card to apply to.
Son of a gun.
So then it just gets discarded.
Okay.
I feel that's a win already. That's me won the game.
All right. So then the other internal event is a battle. So with this, at the bottom it says what keep you have to have, and this is over by Die Rollin's section, Adams.
Yeah.
At the bottom it'll say what keep you're supposed to have, tier 1 keep. He has a tier 1 keep because you start with it. Then you roll a dice to figure out how many enemy units you're going to play against, and then once that's figured out, you set the battle aside for the conflict phase.
Okay, so I got a 4 on the dice. So that should be 10 units and tier 1.
Yep. Yep, you are reading it right.
Cool. Not so cool, but cool.
I think that's 10. Oop, that's 11.
100% Jamie will cause that accident for your worker, right?
Yeah. He went out of his way. He didn't even do anything. You know,
I just sent someone to trip over one of your.
straight off the bat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this battle is now set. It's got the enemy units underneath the card, and now it just sits here until we get to the conflict phase. Now this is a pretty rough first round because we have a battle right away, and it's versus 10, so we need to make units right away, which totally throws off the economy of the game early on, but this is part of the challenge of starting up a game.
Yeah.
All right, so now the draw phase. Did everybody draw an internal and external card? We're all good there?
Yeah. I didn't have anything to play immediately.
All right, so now that everybody's drawn one internal and one external card, the draw phase is done. We move into the build phase. Build phase, everybody at the table simultaneously can do this list of things any number of times in any order they want, as long as they have resources to pay for it.
Okay.
So you can build new buildings, you can train troops, you can upgrade buildings that you already have, you can restore troop strength to troops that have been damaged, you can buy back ability cards that you've used, and if any of your defensive buildings have been ticked, which is sort of like Magic the Gathering tapped, but I don't want to be sued, they will untick or untap.
Okay.
So, between the four of us, we need to train 10 units because we have a battle.
Yeah.
Now, normally, if we didn't have a battle right away, we would dump all of our resources into our economy and get the economy going. But because we have a battle, this is a rough start.
So just to kind of clarify here, so the general idea is we've got these. There's a kind of a joint kind of enemy we're all kind of facing against, but at the same time we're all kind of working against each other to get the most favor. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So
Okay.
just like in real life, there's a civil war going on, and we are representing the loyalists, and the rebels are the bad guys. So we are all loyal to the king, but we want to have the most favor from the king. And the way we do that is we're really good administrators and make really good lands. So every single time we build a new building or upgrade a building, we get a favor point. And we want to prove that we are, martial warriors. So every single bad guy we kill, we get a favor point.
Cool.
So it's cooperative that we're all on the same side, but competitive that we're all sort of jockeying for the king's favor.
Really interesting. I really like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
To also underline the cooperativeness of this game, now you know how to win. You have to reach a favor goal. Now I'll tell you how you lose. You lose by if any player at any point loses all of the troops on their army sheet, everybody loses. And if during this campaign, this series of battles leading up to the favor total, if at any point 2 battles are lost, everybody loses.
Okay.
Okay.
Will, please don't lose the battle because you decide to attack everyone.
I'm not planning on attacking everyone. Not yet.
Waiting for his chance. Okay, cool. So we're in the build phase then.
Yeah. Yep.
Does Jamie go first with this because of turn order, or do we all just kind of talk about it and just chip in?
So to keep as many people active in the game as possible, because that's one of the downfalls for a lot of war strategy games, is there's a lot of downtime for players. During the build phase and in as many places as possible, I have simultaneous action. So we're in the build phase. Everybody is active right now. Everybody can spend resources. Everybody can do that list of things that I described.
Okay, cool.
So there's no turn order in the build phase.
Unticking a building costs whatever it is on the thing, doesn't it?
Yep.
As well.
So if you want to build your village, it would cost you 5 coins.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just. So I'm not going to do that straight away.
Yeah. So the smart thing right now
is to build a bunch of.
Yeah, so all the costs for the troops and everything is in the top of their card, right? So coin, wood, metal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect, cool.
So we need to build a bunch of those. So let's have a look what I can do.
Do we have to have 10 soldiers out between us, or do we have to have a strength of 10?
We have to have 10. Each of these cards basically represents a regiment, so we would have to have 10 of these cards between the 4 of us.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
Okay. Poss is doable. So I'm gonna.
So will if you do 5?
I'm just having to think. I'm not gonna use everything.
Why not?
Well, then I can't build anything else.
Be a team player, Will.
Look, I can build
5. Go on.
You gotta be nice to the Cardinal. His units are ultra expensive. He doesn't have access to any of these core units.
No, I have just these ones.
Yep. Now your units are better than everybody else's, but also you're paying for it.
Oh, so I can't use these at all, so they go away.
Yep. You can't use those at all.
Okay, awesome.
That's sort of what makes it.
So I can bring in a couple, but I can't bring in like loads.
Okay, so guys, I'm gonna start off by getting 2 of these tier 1 infantry guys. So they're not very expensive, but I'm gonna get these guys in, and then I'm also gonna get one of my. Can I do one of my special guys as well?
Yep. As long as you have resources to pay for it, you can train any number of troops.
So I'm gonna train those 3 guys.
Okay, so 1, 2. You still have resources to spend unless you're gonna build a building.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna. You
might
didn't
try
build
and
any
build
guys. Mine's a ranged house, so I'm gonna build 2 of my ranged units,
Okay.
which are really good ranged units.
So we've got. We could just bring up more infantry, I suppose. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to. This is for future proofing. Well, for future proofing around, I could spend 5 on a lumber mill so that I get actually some income of actually building, because I need to get those out first. So that
when we
build.
So I'm using 5 resources to build a building here. So
Mm.
I want to get the kind of mine here to get some metal out. So do I just flip that round once I've spent the 5?
Yeah, once you spend the 5 coins, you flip it around because the tier 1 buildings all come on immediately.
Okay, so what I should do then is I should probably bring in like either the wood or the metal in so that I can actually start building my units out quicker. So I'm going to bring the wood out. I'm going to spend 5 for that. And then I'm going to build some units. It's so that we can then get more units out later.
Is there any trading involved in the game where we could share, pool resources together at all? Or is it very much you have to work with resources you've got?
You have to work with the resources you have. However, there is one part of the game where you can actually have resources move around. When we get to the conflict phase and we're doing the battle, you can call for allies, meaning you are calling for the other noble houses to join together and make a larger total army to face the enemy. Very much like in medieval times, whenever the king called his nobility and then they call their knights and so on and so forth. When you call for allies, you can offer the other players a series of things to incentivize them for them to join. The first thing is the resources. So you can offer wood, metal, or stone. You can't offer coin because we're not mercenaries, we're nobles. You can offer favor. So right now, this battle is an internal battle, so it's worth 2 favor. So you have 2 favor points to offer the other nobles to get if we win. And then obviously the kills inside the battle. The other thing that you can do is if a player is suffering from a negative event on one of their buildings and you have the way to fix it, you can offer, say, hey, you have a negative coin event on your keep. You have like embezzlement on your keep. I have, or not coin. Let's say your lumberyard's on fire. I have forest patrol that can take that forest fire away. That's another thing that you can offer other players to join you. So those are all things that you can do to offer other players to join the battle, but that's how resources can sort of get moved around from player to player.
Okay.
But not coin.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So I need to make a note of like what I've put down. So I've built out my I've built out an infantry and a ranged. So we've got a mix there, and that's pretty much as much as I can spare without overspending. For now, anyway.
You got any wood? Adam?
Got wood left.
I could do with trading a bit of metal for a bit of wood. Got spare.
Now you can only trade whenever battles are going on. Right now, there's no trading during the build phase.
Okay. That doesn't help me then.
So what forces have we got then, guys? So at the moment, I've got 3 over here.
I've got 2.
Got 4.
So that's 5 in total so far. What are you bringing to the battle, Jamie?
I'm bringing 4.
We're at 9 then.
Well, yeah, I'll bring one more in, but I feel like I'm now doing all the work.
Oh well, Matt's not brought anything up. What are you bringing, Matt?
I've got 2 repeaters, a spear, and a scout. So I've got 1 cavalry and 2 range and an infantry guy. So I've got 4.
I spent my stuff on a building so that I could start generating more.
Of course you did, Will. Of course.
Well, look. I have to spend double to get my people out. They cost a lot more.
Of course you did.
So I need a building this round and earlier to get my buildings out so that I can actually give you units.
I don't think you were listening when they said you got to work together, Will.
Well, I am. I'm sending you some units.
So awesome. So we've done everything we want to do in the build phase, right? Jamie might not be happy, but everyone is generally happy with what they're doing, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Once again, we're in a cooperative game, and Will's just thinking about himself.
I'm thinking about myself for the greater good of the people.
Greater good. Matt, move us on to the next phase.
All right. So now we move into the conflict phase. The main player, who was Jamie, gets to pick playing event cards or battles first. You do have to do both, but you get to pick which happens first. You completely finish that choice, and then you move on to the other. So later on in the game, in turn 1, there's not a whole lot of tactics and strategy, but later on in the game, there's actually a lot of strategy of, okay, do I do this first or do I do this second? One example is if later on in the game there's another player that's way ahead, what you could do, and they have a battle, what you could do is you could play event cards first and really hit him with all kinds of negative events that then will encourage him to call for allies to try to catch up, and then you play battles. That would be a sort of tactical use of that. But in the first turn, it's just you do one, then you do the other.
Okay, so we need to like deal with this this event, right?
Yeah.
So what do I do? Do I just lay my cards, my 4 people out?
So did you want to do the battle, or did you want to play event cards?
So the only event card I've got is like an external event, but I'm worried that if I play it, it's gonna if I just drop it on the table, that's the event there.
Oh my goodness, that is a. There's only one of those cards in your entire external deck, and that is a very powerful card because it does all of that damage. So one infantry, you pick a player, one of their infantry loses 6 health, one of their range loses 5, and one of their cav loses 2. So that is exactly the card that you play on somebody that you want to trip them up and force them to call for allies. So you don't want to play that on now because that'll be a good way to reset the game.
No.
I think I know where it's going.
I think we're just going to go into battle because that's the only event card I've got. So let's do battle, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now that you chose battle, it basically becomes Adam's game. So I will act as the bad guys here, just to make it easier on you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And what will happen normally is the player to your left will set up the battle, and this is a defensive battle because you are defending your lands. So internal conflicts are always defensive. And then the person to your left sets up the enemy army, and I'm just gonna quick set this up, and then I'll explain why I put things where they are. Oh no!
Really nice artwork on these as well. Like I like the Black Beast dog; he looked pretty cool.
When you said, "Oh no," that didn't like inspire confidence.
Yeah, the most dangerous unit in all the tiers are these Tooks units because they can actually summon more enemy units onto the battlefield.
No.
Okay,
that's a priority target. We want to kill that one first if we can.
Okay.
So this makes the most sense to me. The artist that did all the bad guys that you see here, the Vortar, the Tooks, and the Black Beast, is Shou Zhang. She's based out of Vietnam. Jonathan Abbas, who's based out of England, he did all of the buildings.
Okay.
And then Jules, and I can't say her last name because it's Brazilian. She made some of the art for like House Lotan. So like these cards are by Jules. They are really good artists. I love working with them. They are professional illustrators. So one of the reasons why I'm going to Kickstarter is I don't have enough money in my own pockets to pay for all the art of the game to be complete.
Yeah.
I've already spent my entire inheritance and savings getting the game to where it's at now, and now I need Kickstarter to get it the rest of the way.
Yeah.
All right, so how you set up a battle is the most basic rules are the screen can be any size, the body, which is where you normally put ranged units, has to be as big or smaller than the screen, and the flanks have to be smaller than the body. That's how setting up the battle goes. Now, obviously, as battles happen, these formations break down because that's how it happens in real life.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just a way to, at least in the beginning of the battle, things look recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've set up as the bad guys, and now, Adam, you would call for allies. Now, you can exclude people. You can specifically invite people. You can specifically invite people for specific units. You are the commanding general, and you get to pick who comes and who goes for your army.
No pressure then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just say now
Okay.
to everyone and just fight them head on, right?
I mean, I kind of want everyone to come and help.
Yeah.
Calling
I'm
all
happy
the
to help.
allies.
So you can field a maximum of 11 units. So 11 of these unit cards you can.
I've got a couple of infantry and a couple of ranged for you, Adam. That's my
Do I just drag these into play where I want them?
Yes. Now, the other players that you're inviting in, they can say, I really want my unit over there. I really want my unit over there, because they're sort of like lieutenants under you. So it is, again, a cooperative thing. Also, so you're inviting everybody at the table?
Yeah.
So
I see how you put all my guys at the front, but none of Will's.
I'm just getting Will's now.
a ranged unit. So this is also when either the players can ask for compensation for joining the fight, or you can offer compensation for joining.
Oh, I think it's in everyone's best interest in this very first battle. What compensation can I give? Did you say there's a couple of favor points in this?
Yeah, so there are two favor points up for grabs, and you can offer 1-to-1. So like one person gets one, another person gets another. You can offer the promise of resources, or you can offer certain promises. But as a noble, you're honor bound to fulfill those.
So I don't need anything from you right now, Adam. I'll just you can just owe me a favour later on. I'll call my favour at some point.
Same here.
You can give Will the point, and
okay.
I'll just take the favour.
Sure, I'll take the point. Unless anyone else is coming for the point.
Okay.
I'll take the point.
Your repeaters are ranged, aren't they? Yeah. Okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I suggest that I put in my scouts over here because they have a cavalry unit on this flank, and you want cavalry versus cavalry.
Okay.
And then there's a axeman on the...
Don't have any other cavalry to go up against the... Oh, what's that actually on the other side? That's just an infantry.
Yeah.
So, I'll get my guy in there. So sorry, we should be... I've seen, Matt, you've been naming everyone's cards so we don't lose track of who's whose. So we should be doing that ourselves, really, shouldn't we?
Yep, they've got also the symbol, I suppose, that I'm just referring it to on the card for the house.
Yeah, so that's in the tabletop simulator because I couldn't figure out how to do blanks. If you've read about blanks in the book, I just imported all of these cards.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so I think that's us fielded then.
No, you still got 2 of my ranged.
You can only get 11 out.
Oh, well, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Even better that you only owe me a favour.
Right, I think we're ready.
Okay, so now that you have called for allies and you have given compensation and you set up the units according to this card right here, we have completed the setup phase. Now, the next thing I want to go over are unit special abilities. Now, there's not a whole lot of special abilities on the battlefield right now, but there are a few. So the basic ones, I'm just going to start from this side and go over and explain each of the ability cards.
Yeah.
So the cavalry has, the scouts have quick and barding armor. Now, quick is this card right here, and barding armor is this card right here. So for quick, it is an irreducible attack, so it takes the attack value of that cavalry and applies it to an enemy, and it's irreducible, so it doesn't matter what armor they have or anything else. So in practice, if this unit was not facing an enemy cavalry because it's got the caveat that it has to be used in the flank and there's no opposing cavalry. This unit could just do 3 damage to this target over here if it wasn't cavalry.
Okay.
And it's irreducible. So, killing off their cavalry and allowing this cavalry to like use quick on this Tux is a strategy.
Okay.
Barding armor is the second ability that the unit has. This is another trait, and if a infantry or ranged unit attacks the cavalry, their defense goes up by 2. So instead of a defense of 1, they have a defense of 3.
Okay.
And then the levy spear, they don't have any abilities. Then going to the cardinals units, you have parry and spear throw on your militia sword. So parry is this card right here, and what it is an ability card, so it's a one-time use for the battle, and you use it in defense. So if somebody's coming in and attacking, so let's say in this example, this Black Beast dog is attacking your unit, it has an attack of 4, you have an armor of 3. That means you're taking 1 damage. What you could do is if you didn't have an infantry defense card, you could play one time this parry card and increase or lower the damage that you're taking by 1, so you're taking 0 damage. Once that ability is used, it just gets set over by your keep to be purchased back during the next build phase.
Okay.
That's how abilities are used.
Okay.
And then the next unit is the militia bow. They also have parry. And then my units have 3 abilities: precision fire, defensive screen, and repeating siege bow. Precision fire allows me to shoot more often. Defensive screen allows me to basically lay down a blanket of fire that enemies can't pass through. And I'm just abbreviating what these abilities are. And then repeating siege bow allows me to take like an infantry attack card and discard it and draw until I get a ranged attack card and play that instead. So I'm never out of ammo, basically. And then the last card that has abilities, I think, is the Lotan Watch, which is the flank. They have barricade offense and barricade defense. You have those cards over here. They have the infinity symbol. They can be used whenever you want. The barricade offense gives a unit that stays in a flank the spear wall trait. Spear wall increases damage versus cavalry. And then you have the barricade defense, and that allows you to play 2 defensive cards instead of 1.
Okay.
Those are the abilities, and that's how abilities work.
Okay.
Just real quickly. I don't know how much time you guys have to play, so I'm sort of rushing through this.
That's fine.
Oh, well, we normally try and play, like, if not the whole game, as much of it to get a real good feel about it. Because, like, for us, it's, like, really important that we get a feel for the game. So,
All right,
you take your time. Okay. Because we've got loads of people who like to listen and understand what's going on, so don't feel you've got to rush for us.
Yeah.
It's much about people like who will watch this and go, "Oh, this is a great game." So yeah, no, take your time.
All right. Well, I will then slow down a bit. I had another guy early this morning at 7 a.m. my time. He's also based out of England. Punchboard Reviews. And he only had 90 minutes. So I was just rushing through everything. All right. So
we've done these at like 3.5 hours, so 90 minutes is nothing. You know, don't you worry.
All right. Well, that's great because this is a bigger game. All of this is what you're seeing right now is only 33% of the game.
Okay.
Okay.
All of these cards and everything, because there's a tier 2 and tier 3 where there are more buildings and more units and more factions and the faction units and everything. So this game is really quite big.
The tier 1 Tux Rebellion then.
Yeah, that's what this is. This is tier 1 Tux Rebellion.
Okay.
All right, so now that's all set. Setup's done. I actually have to surrender my attack hand to you, Adam.
Okay.
Because you will be playing my units. So I'm just going to put that down there. Now everybody can see them. It's fine.
So we have to do the same.
Nope, you guys don't have to do the same. You are lieutenants in this fight. You will still be commanding your individual regiments.
Okay.
But because I'm playing as the bad guy, I can't play both sides.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
So
Cool. So you're attacking, right? Because this is a defense one.
So I gotta. So the setup is done. Then the next part is the draw phase, and the draw phase is just if anybody doesn't have 7 combat cards, they draw up to 7, so they're never out.
Yeah.
But everybody, all of you guys have 7 cards because this is
Yeah.
the first round. So as the bad guy, what it will do is it would go from the battle owner and then around the table for the good guys, the allies, and then whoever's the bad guy always draws last.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'll just go ahead and draw my hand. Not bad. Not a bad hand. Not a bad hand. Okay. All right. So then draw phase is done. We go into the infantry phase. In the infantry phase, the infantry cards can do their thing. The infantry phase is separated out into offense and defense. So offense goes first, does their thing. Then defense goes after that and does their thing.
Cool.
So offense, I take my infantry and I apply who they're going to attack. So this guy's an infantry. He's in the flank. The only target he can go after is the enemy flank because it's covered by this unit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then in the screen, units have to apply 1-to-1 until there's extra. So like, let's say this guy was in the screen. All of these dogs would have to target an enemy, and then the extra guy could gang up. But
Okay.
screen is 1-to-1, so this guy has to attack here, and these guys have to attack straight across. And now, if I have any infantry attack cards, this is when I would play them. And I do. So I'm going to play that one there. And I want to get through this flank, so I'm going to play that one there. So once I am done playing all ability cards and all of my attack cards that are appropriate to the phase, I announce to the table, I'm fully committed. Now, what this signals to you is now you guys can play infantry defense cards in response to these attacks.
Okay.
So, Adam, your flank is getting attacked here, and your 2 levy spear are getting. Everybody's getting attacked pretty much. So everybody should be paying attention to where their units are and what numbers are coming in. So all of these black beast dogs have a base attack of 4, and then if they have any attack cards, it's based off the top number because we're in tier 1.
Okay.
The big damage is coming in is one's coming in on the cardinal, so it's 4 + 5, so 9 coming in. You have a base defense of 3, which is reducing 6.
Yeah.
And then Adam, you have 6 coming in, and then this guy has a defense of 3. So yeah, you just play an infantry defense.
Okay.
Also, Adam, if you have any cavalry defense cards, you can play those as well.
Yeah, because I don't have any.
Yeah, because I don't have cavalry, so okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't have anything in regards to defense since we're being attacked. I
So-
have 1 defense card.
So that's my defense done. So then it goes over to Jamie to put his out, right?
Okay.
I'm not being attacked. Am I?
Got 2 guys here, Jamie.
And you got
Alright.
these 2 on the. You got the 2 on the flank as well.
So
Yeah,
that-
mine.
But this flank is not getting
He's in-
attacked because
Oh, he's not.
cavalry unit. So,
Oh, he's not. Okay.
But yeah, these
So-
2 over here, Jamie. These guys.
Yeah, so I can't defend it or do anything to that. So I'm gonna have to take the damage.
Oh, play that. I haven't got. Are these cavalry or are they?
Infantry.
Yeah, because this
You're-
is the thing with these ones, because these are saying cavalry defense tactics and they're not cavalry.
right, so mine say cavalry defense because I don't actually
Oh
have
yes,
cavalry.
okay, yeah. I've
Yeah,
got
that's
cavalry
one-
that I can get, but I can't play it on mine, so that's fine.
I'm right with that, right, Matt?
yes, you are.
Okay, cool. So I can't play that. Okay, that's got me confused. That's fine.
Sorry about that.
No, don't worry. It's not a problem.
Okay, so are you guys fully
Use the
committed on?
defense card.
Yeah, I'm fully committed with what I can
I've
do.
used the defensive card for you as well.
That's good. That's good.
Oh,
The-
can I use other ones? Can I?
If you've got infantry defense, Jamie, you can put it on your.
But can I use that on
Place
that?
it on- you place it on other people's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can defend the cavalry, right? Yeah.
So that's mine.
When-
You can only play on your own units.
Okay.
And that cavalry
can't-
is not under threat anyway.
Yeah.
So you can't place it on other people's units. Okay. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
all
think we're
committed, right?
committed. Yeah, we're committed. Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, do you want to record the unit's health with dice just to make it faster here in Tabletop Simulator, or do you want to record using your note cards that are over by your play area?
I've already started filling out my note cards, so.
That's your job's worth. What do you think, Jamie? Would you rather type it into your card, or do you want dice?
Just do dice, right?
It looks a bit more interesting for the people watching
Yeah.
the video as
Yeah.
well. Is that all right, Matt?
In the real game, what in the real game, what would we have?
So
if
in
it
the,
wasn't on here, would
you will have an army sheet in front of you. Have any of you guys played Hero Quest?
Yes.
Okay, so you remember on the hero card, there's that section with all the boxes where you record your hit points, your body points?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is going to be a very similar setup on the army sheet. There will be boxes to where you record your troops' strength, and as you take damage, you either add up or add down to what their total troop strength is, whichever way you do it. Glass half full, glass half empty, whichever.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that that is all set up, then starting from one side of the battle and going to the other, and the players can pick which side they want to go to. It doesn't really matter, but you just have to pick one side, go to the other, so then everybody knows where they're looking.
Okay.
Go from my left to right. So.
All right.
Does it stay back?
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have 3 defense, and then 4 versus 3 and 3. So this completely negates this attack, so he goes back to his flank. These guys don't stay engaged because they're trying to defend the flank so they don't get bogged down. So both of these cards get discarded right over here. So that part is done, and then this guy does 2 damage here.
Hey,
And here, what's the defense card? Defense card is 3, 2, so that's 5. So full defense here, so no damage. So that card can get discarded.
sorry.
On the dice.
That's back.
And then again, full defense, so no damage. Full defense, no damage. Here it is 9 minus 3, so it does take a bit of damage. Why I hit the malicious sword so hard is they're actually really powerful. I want that unit gone.
Yeah.
And then right here is, again, full defense, so no damage. All right, so that is the offensive infantry part of the infantry phase. Now you guys get to do to me what I just did to you.
Okay.
Oh, nice. We don't draw any more cards, right? This is
Correct. You don't draw any more cards until the next draw phase. So
Okay.
now you want to be playing infantry attack cards.
Okay.
so they've got no defense, but they've got 10 health.
Boop. And then boop. There we go. I can do that.
see so many attack cards coming in.
We can't be using our ranged attack at the moment, right? This is just infantry.
Oh, is it
Just infantry.
Oh, it's just okay. 1 minute. Let me take that back then. If I can't use that, then there we go.
Okay. You fully committed, guys?
Yeah. Same again.
Fully committed, Adam.
Fully committed.
Okay. All right. So much damage.
Start from left to right.
Well, I have to play defense cards, and then
Of course,
yes,
sorry.
you are correct. But I need to defend myself. I'm just going to get chewed up here, which is fine. That's what's supposed to happen to the enemy. All right. Unfortunately, I am now fully committed on the defense. I just had those 2 cards, and that's it.
Let's do this. Okay, so
This
Tier
guy-
Watcher, he's got 1 attack, and then he's got +5, so it's 6 damage, reduced by 1, so 5 damage.
Go.
Oh. Jamie, you're up next.
So, I assume he's got 1 attack, right?
Got 2 attack.
Got 2 attack. +4. So,
3.
is it T2 or T1?
Tier 1.
Well, I don't understand what I'm looking at. T.
So
So for the
T1
purpose of this game,
is tier.
sorry, Matt, go for it.
We're tier 1 on our character sheet. On our little warriors.
So yeah,
like tier 1.
oh okay, +3, right? Plus what? The 2. That's
5
5.
damage, 3.
Yeah.
So you cut his health in half with that 1 attack.
Nice.
Cool. And then the same with this one. So another 5.
All right, and then I defend 3, so he takes 2 damage. I almost put him at 2 health. 2, not quite that.
That's fine though, Matt. Go for it. So my guy's just attacking with 2 damage on this one here. Yeah. And the next one here, he's got 2 + 4, so 6 damage coming through from this guy.
Then mine's 3 + 6, so 9 - 3, 6 damage.
Big hit, big hit.
And then that goes away. Yeah, I'll take it away.
And then 2 here.
Okay.
All right, so all of my infantry gone. All of your infantry is gone. So the infantry phase is complete. Now we go into the range phase. The range phase, the defender goes first. So you guys get to play attack cards first in defense for ranged.
Oh,
So-
a ranged attack or defense.
Yeah, ranged attack.
Cool. Just double checking that. Cool. Okay, so I've got.
That's a defense card. Jamie. We're attacking.
You don't have any ranged people in this battle, Jamie.
Oh well.
It's.
I'm helping you out.
It's Will and Matt.
I did offer a ranged person, but you didn't want them. You said my range wasn't good enough.
All right, so I'll jump in as playing Showball here for a second to
Yeah.
show off how cool they are.
Mhm.
Correct.
So I'm going to pick this repeater right here, and I'm going to use the repeating siege bow ability. And the repeating siege bow ability is I take an attack card like this 2 and discard it, and the next attack card that I draw is what I have to play. Oh, it's a 2. Darn it. I was hoping for a higher number. And then with this next guy, I'll do repeating siege bow again, but this time I'll discard this cavalry attack of 2. And the next one I draw is lots of defense cards.
It's a range.
Oh, there we go. Range 4. That's good. That's 4. Okay. So we have got our cards. Now, how you can target is ranged units that are in the body. They can shoot anything in the screen, anything in the opposing body, or anything on each flank. If this range guy was in this,
Quick question.
he could. Go ahead.
So on the abilities that you have, and it just occurred to me, could I have used those in the last attack? Like my ability card.
For what ability? For what unit?
The
So
barricade.
my melee, I could have spent a coin and added 3 to the attack total. Is that correct? Am I misreading that?
That is if you had this unit right here. He has Kel offensive training.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to spend the coin right away. You have to spend it to buy it back. The units come with their abilities on, so that's part of their recruitment cost. So if this unit was in the fight, then yes, during the infantry phase, which is the shield, you could have used that card if you paired it with an attack card of a value of 5 or lower. So yes, you could have done that in that instance.
Yeah, that's fine. And then the trait. Sorry, I'm a bit slow to catch up on these things. The trait cards, they're just passive abilities, are they? They're things you get regardless.
Yes, they are things that you get regardless. So like the Kel Spirit, that's on all of your infantry, all of your house infantry. So these Kel Spears have Kel Spirit. And then the Kel Eyes and Ears is special to your Mountain Wardens because it has it on the card. And Hot Shot is also special to your house unit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Mhm.
I was...
No, that's fine. You guys can ask any questions you want. I know this is initially a big game to sort of take on, but once you get the feel of it, because all these mechanics interlock with one another,
Yeah.
the game becomes smooth.
Yeah.
All right, so as I was saying, this ranged unit, any ranged unit in the body can shoot any enemy unit on the battlefield. If this guy was here in this flank, he could shoot anybody in the screen, anybody in the flank, anybody in the body, but he can't shoot all the way across the battlefield at the opposite flank. It's too far away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the other rule is 2 ranged units can shoot at 1 target maximum.
Okay.
So you can gang up.
With the range units here, so you've got your repeaters here. They've got a 1 and a 3 for their attack. What does that depend on?
Okay, so the first number is their infantry attack. So they have short swords to attack with in infantry in an emergency. Obviously, you don't want your archers on the front line because they have the least amount of defense and least amount of health normally. The second number is their ranged value. So the first number is always melee. Second number is always range.
Okay.
So in this case, it would be 3 plus 4 and 3 plus 2 and 2 plus 4.
It makes sense if we got these 2 guys, Matt's repeaters, to attack the bad guy at the back, the Black Beast guy,
Yeah.
Tuxcom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that would be 12 damage, reduced by 2 to 10, and overkilling him by 2, which is very good.
And then put the rest into the other archer.
You can do that if that's what you would so
Or
desire.
Would you prefer
Anyone
we
got
take down
hit
something
points
else?
left?
Because I could take down one of the. If I could also take down the front wolf that's like going to hurt my guy out, but it could possibly kill him in the next.
You have a look at
round,
this. So
'cause I
you're,
don't
how much
have
damage? You're doing 6 damage
Yeah,
with this
I could
guy.
take out one of the 4s, or
Why
take
don't
out
we,
one. Of,
why don't we have you take out the cavalry? Because
Yeah,
then
take out the cavalry.
cavalry's
Okay.
free to through,
okay.
right?
Yeah, I
And that's
don't.
all-
Now the thing is I don't have any defense cards for my infantry, and if I get
Well-
another big attack on my guy, it's going to eliminate my soldier, and it's going to take me a while to come back with any soldiers.
Well, that's okay.
Can I just clarify that? Because looking at this round of battle, I assume we draw again.
You're correct.
Okay, so that's fine then. I'll take out the wing then.
Back into your hand there, Will,
Okay,
with
I will-
the bad guy drawing last.
That's fine. I will take out the wing then.
That's who we're aiming for.
Yeah. This one here. That was on 5. Before I picked it up. There you go.
I
Okay,
blame
so we-
tabletop.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm attacking over there.
All right, fully committed?
Yes, I'm committed.
Okay. So, let's see here. What do I have on the defense?
Well, you do make me chuckle so much.
All right, so I am now fully committed on the defense. So going from this side of the battle to this, we have a total of 12 coming in, reduced by 2, total of 10, which just outright kills this guy. Now, both of my units participated in this kill, so this kill is considered mine. So it just goes over there. And then we have a total of 6 coming in on a defense of 0, which is overkilling him by 1, but I had this cavalry defense of 2, so he survives with 1 hit point.
Right.
We got the most dangerous man off the battlefield, so we weren't suddenly outnumbered.
You got some favor from that as well, Matt, right?
So that kill, if we win, that kill gets me a favor.
Okay. So I guess there's some strategy in here as well. So if you're playing the bad guys here, you might specifically not defend units that your guys are attacking, right? To try and get yourself favor.
Yes, but that's actually cheating. In the rules, it does specifically say that whenever you're playing as the villain, you have to play honestly. You have to try to win. You have to try to kill enemy units, because that's the only way this game is going to work. Because otherwise, it completely undermines the whole theme and feel of the game to play favorites as the bad guy, which doesn't make any sense in what would be real.
You've got to think of the worst possible outcome for everyone, right?
Yeah, so as the bad guy, you have to play honestly and really try to defeat the enemy, because that makes the game real. It keeps the threat of loss up. But otherwise, yes, you could totally just pick somebody and pick on them and just destroy them. But that wouldn't be fun. And the reason of playing board games is to have fun.
Indeed. You hear that, Will?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did you understand it though?
Okay, cool. So that was our ranged.
Yeah.
So now I assume it's your little pixie archer's turn.
Yep.
Now.
All right, so my archers with a total of 4 is going to attack the scouts over here. And they have a defense of 1, and then they have barding armor, which increases their defense by 2. So that's 3 defense coming up against that. So right now the cavalry is just taking 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've not got anything for that cavalry.
All right, so then that cavalry just takes the 1 damage, and then my ranged is done.
Okay.
So that's the range phase. Now we move on to the cavalry phase. In a cavalry phase, the offense goes first, then the defense. And unfortunately for me, I don't have any cards to play along with, so I just have to attack as is. So this 4 attack is coming in. Now the barding armor doesn't trigger, because this is a cavalry unit attacking, because barding armor is specifically made to protect the rider and the horse from foot soldiers.
Okay.
So this unit will have 4 coming in. Armor reduces it by 1, so he takes 3.
Oof.
All right, and that's my cavalry phase. Now, your guys' cavalry phase. So this unit can now act. Oops, sorry about that.
All right. So yeah, we'll just attack without any. Well, actually, we should probably put some attack on there, right? Just in case there's any defense cards coming through.
So yeah. Exactly correct. All right, so then I tried to kill that unit, didn't work. So I don't have any defense cards, so that is another dead enemy unit.
And that's your unit. Cool. Okay.
That is the end of the cavalry phase. Now we move into the movement phase. Now the movement phase, the offensive player goes first, and then the defensive player goes. Now, in the movement is if there is like a hole in your line that you want to plug, or if, like, let's say I had an extra unit to put over in this flank, then I could do that to try to keep my archer alive. That's what movement is for. The only rules are like this flank can move over here or into the body. If there's a unit in the body, it can move into either flank, that's fine, or it can move into the screen. The units that are engaged in the screen, because they are like in this melee fight, it takes them longer to pull out. So if you want to move a unit out of the screen, it first has to go into the body and wait until the next round of movement to then move somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
That's just to represent that you are, extracting the unit from a desperate melee.
Okay.
Which obviously takes longer. But as the bad guy, I am just in a tough position because I want to keep him over there to stop him. But that's only 1 damage here. So I'm actually going to move him over here to stop the cavalry because that's more dangerous. And I might be able to kill it. Okay, so I'm done moving. Now you guys can move your units. If you have any desire to move any units.
Don't think we need to.
So at this moment, then, guys, this infantry is going to kill the cavalry before the cavalry gets to act, I believe. Would we be able to swap the infantry over with the cavalry?
That's the really nice thing about being the defensive player, is you can react to what the enemy's doing. So yeah, you can. You saw me do that, and you know my reason for it, so you can just counter me.
Perfect. Everyone happy with that? Yeah.
Mm.
Doesn't matter. I've already done it. Okay.
All right. So now that everybody's done with movement, we go into the discard phase. So if there are any cards in your hand that you can't use, just discard them. So Jamie, being that you don't have any ranged units, if there are any ranged cards that you feel you don't need, you can just discard them over here.
That's a good point. I don't have any ranged either.
They're not cavalry yet either, so they can all go.
Cool. Now I need to draw 4 more then, if that's the case.
When we get to the draw phase, yes, but not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Not yet, Will.
I haven't drawn any.
All right. So as House Show Ball, I've got 2 units and I've got 2 range cards, so that's fine. I don't want to discard anything out of my hand. And as the bad guys, I'm happy with the 1 card that I have. So now the discards phase done, we go back up to the top. It's the draw phase, so the battle owner draws his hand back up to 7. Not above 7, but back up to 7. Now, Jamie,
that doesn't include the event I've got, right?
Yeah, the events, you ignore the events. The events are infinite in size. Jamie, you draw your combat cards back up to 7. Again, if you have an internal event card or the external event card, that really means sickness card, you can just ignore it. You draw 7. And then Show Ball goes next. All right, and then you can go next and draw your hand back up to 7. You've still got a lot of cards in your hand.
Yeah. Let's 4. There you go.
Oh, also, with your militia swords, as you're playing 7th Corps, they have the ability to throw. So just read that through, just so you know what it does.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it.
But
All right.
I don't think I'm going to be able to use it this. I don't want to use it this round because I need that coin.
Do you have any ranged attack cards?
Oh, it costs me.
It doesn't cost you anything to use. It only costs you something back.
Oh, so the spear throw at the top is like cost 1 coin to get it back. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. Then I can use them. Awesome.
Cool. All right, so then I draw my hand back up to 7. All right, so draw phase is done. Now we go back into the infantry phase, and it's me on offense. Are you kidding? I'm fully committed.
Oh wow.
Amazing.
All
Okay,
right.
so he's going to be doing damage over here.
He's going to bounce.
Oh, so
3-on-3. He's not going to do
Nothing.
anything.
okay, so 4 coming over here, blocking 2 off of that.
Is it possible to play more than one defense card or just the one?
You can play 1 defense card per unit you have.
Per unit.
So if you
Okay.
have 2 units, you can play 2 defense cards on separate.
Okay. Okay.
Lotan is the only one that gets to break that rule.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay, yeah, I'm done. Jamie, you done?
Yeah.
Let's have a look if we've got any defense cards down here. Yeah, cool.
The infantry -3 is the most common card in the game, so that's one to always play or always discard because there's always the likelihood of getting something better. So +3 or +2 or -2 or -3 are the lowest values in the cards. So whenever you have turns of just building your hand because you can discard and redraw, getting rid of those low numbers is always good to build up a better hand.
Okay.
And if somebody has the infantry -10, that is the best defense card in the game.
Nice.
Just so you know. All right, so you guys are fully committed?
Yeah.
Fully
All right.
committed.
So
Left
then
to right.
4 -2, so this guy takes 2. Now, Jamie, did you want to play the defense card on the guy that's already been nicked a little bit, or did you want to keep the guy that's at full health at full health?
The guy at full health at full health.
Okay, so then he just takes 2, and then this is a bounce, so no damage. This is a bounce, no damage. This is 2 damage on Adam's 2nd Levy Spear Regiment. And then 4 versus 6, so definitely a overambitious defense there. So good job. And then that's a full defense as well. So big old bounce for me. I did a total of, 4 damage? Woo! Fear me, I'm going to beat you guys. All right, so now you guys get to do that to me.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, fully committed, I think.
Yeah.
Fully committed.
Fully committed.
No cavalry attack cards, Adam?
No, I've only got defense.
All right, so I'm going to respond to this. I'm feeling a little impotent at the moment. Wait, that's a range card. Nope, this one. There we go. All right, so I am fully committed on the defense. This is the best I can muster.
Okay, so from left to right.
So it's -5
you-
versus 5.
5.
So that's just blocked. This guy takes full damage. Is he dead? Nope, yep, this is dead. So this is Jamie's kill.
You're welcome.
And then this takes 2. This takes 2. Almost dead. Can I even save this?
9.
3. No, I can't save it. So that card doesn't do anything. So this is dead. And this is
Mine.
Cardinals. The Mighty Cardinals. And then I just bounce the damage here with this card. And then that goes away. And then this is full damage, whatever it is. Except for -1. So
Full damage.
it's 3.
That's 3.
Okay. Now,
Nice guy.
yep, bad guys go. Or no, it's range. That's the infantry phase. Now it's the range phase. Defensive range goes. So you guys get to shoot your arrows.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Range attack 6. That's excellent.
I don't have any extra, so it's just as I am.
There's 9 coming from him,
But
and 5 coming from him.
if I target the 2, or help with 1.
So these 2 can pair together and potentially kill this guy, and then
You
you
got target the 2.
can kill this guy number
Yeah.
that has help right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Are we
because-
thinking that? We thinking these 2 repeaters, Matt's repeaters, take out the ranged guy over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll take out the one with 2, dog that's left with 2. Since I don't have a ranged attack,
Oh.
I compare it with.
Happy with that, Jamie?
I'm fully committed.
Fully committed.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
it's your treat. You do what you want.
Yep. So I'm fully committed on the defense now. I don't have any infantry defense cards left in my hand, but I had a range defense card, so I can keep my archer alive. Barely.
Block 7, so you block 8 total there. So that's 1 damage coming in from over here. Plus there's 6 damage on the yeah.
All right, and then this dog bites the dust, goes over to the cardinal. Good job. All right, and then my range. I have a range attack of 4, so it's 6. Who can I scrub off the battlefield? Not much. All you guys have a lot of health. All right, so I'm going to shoot all 6 at the cavalry over here because I don't want the cavalry to hit me.
Oh, that's a shame. So how much in total is that?
It's a total of 6 and then minus 3, so 3 damage coming in. So I need a cavalry defense card of 3 or more to keep them alive. Oh, minus 7. Denied. All right, Vortar, you can go back to school because that was terrible.
You missed.
Darn it. I was hoping that was going to work. Okay, so that's my ranged phase. So the full ranged phase is now done. We go to the cavalry phase. First, offense goes. I don't have any cavalry, so that's done. You guys better fear all of my cavalry. I did a bunch of damage to you. So now it goes to your defense. So this cavalry guy, he can attack this unit here, or he can attack in the body. So he has 2 targets. He can attack here, or he can attack here. So if there are any cavalry attack cards to pair him up.
No cavalry
No.
attack. What do you think, guys? Should we go for the ranged or one of the dogs?
Go for the dog. Go for the dog on the end, right?
Okay, yeah. So this dog here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as you guys have probably already surmised, I don't have any infantry defense cards, so all 3 damage hits, knocks him down to 2 hit points.
Nice.
All right, and then that's the cavalry phase, and now we move into the movement phase. So these guys that don't have anything attacking them, they are free to move anywhere on the battlefield now, being that they are no longer engaged. However, if they stay in the screen, they can start ganging up.
Yeah.
I think keep them where they are, guys, right?
Yeah. So you can gang up and eliminate.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just gang up.
All right. So now we go to the discard phase. So if there's any cards that you don't want, now is the time to part with them.
And that one. There we go. Right, done. Oh.
What's this?
What's that card? It's a...
These are cards, Jamie.
What?
You draw it. I've got to draw first, Jamie.
What? Oh, well, never mind.
What's this card?
I don't know. I didn't make the game.
Okay,
If
up
it
to
has-
you.
None of those cards are helpful to me.
Is it my go to draw?
Or actually, it's
Okay.
show balls.
Okay,
so-
cool.
so I'm like, it skips me, which is true, but my units are still around.
Sorry, Adam, I didn't realise you weren't running around.
You can go now.
Awesome. I can get 6.
Draw 5, and now we're down to 1. So I'm just gonna get those nice and shuffled. Now we've got a new deck. All right. So now we're back up into the infantry phase. So I go first. All right. Why? All right. I'm going to totally crush you guys. I'm fully committed.
Do this. Fully committed.
Yeah, I didn't draw a single infantry attack card.
Who's this guy fighting? Between just wait on. Okay.
They just go straight on because they're considered engaged, so they can't attack
okay.
any.
Okay, cool.
All right, so as you can see, as we're coming up to this, there's going to be some kills where multiple people are involved in the kill, and there are just a couple straightforward rules on who finishes and gets the point. So the first check is who had more units in the kill. So, like, let's say, in this case, let's say Jamie had these 2 units and Adam had 1 attacking this guy, and this guy died. Jamie had more units in the kill, so the kill goes to him.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's, let's say it's like this, to where it's 1-on-1,
Yeah.
and this is a kill, it's Adam's battle, so it goes to Adam. So the
Okay.
first tiebreaker is who had more units in. The second tiebreaker is who's the battle owner. If, let's say, it was my unit and Jamie's that were doing the kill, then we're tied for number of units. Oops.
Yeah.
We're tied for number of units, and neither of us are the battle owner. Then it's who played an attack card. Gets the
Okay.
kill. If we both played attack cards or nobody played attack cards, then it's a dice roll. That's the last definitive
Okay.
step.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you guys can continue to defend yourself.
Okay.
I don't need to.
I don't need to play anything.
I can see, looking at his eyes, straight from where I am, he's got nothing. I've got my mate next to me.
Okay, we're fully committed.
Fully committed.
All right. So then 4 on this guy. So he takes 2. 5 defense on the 4 attack. So nothing happens there. And oh, good grief. 7 defense on the 4 attack. My black beast dog chips a tooth. And then 3 on 3, fully blocked. All right. So now it's your guys' infantry.
Yeah.
So Will, you're the cardinal, right?
Yes. Yeah. I am.
Okay, so Will, if there are any units left, you may want to use spear throw if you want to do that. Once it's the range phase,
yes, yeah,
sort
yeah.
of that.
Yeah. I'm thinking about doing that.
Ooh, 6 attack. That's real good. I
Yeah.
don't think I'm going to be able to keep my screen alive. All right,
Fully
so
Fully
you
committed.
guys are free. You can pick where you want to attack because your units are mobile.
Going here.
Okay, so you're going to pair up there with my guy. All right, cool. And then Adam, your 2 units are going to pair up on this guy?
Yeah.
And then Jamie, your 2 units are going to pair up on this guy?
Yeah, it feels a bit overkill in honesty.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that's 5 and 5, so that's 10 damage coming in. Actually, that's really smart to do that, because if I had the -10 infantry card, I couldn't keep him alive.
Yeah.
Or actually, I'd keep him alive at 1 hit point, but there's only one of that card in the game. So it's very unlikely that I have it. Okay, so you guys are fully committed?
Yep.
All right. So let's see, can I keep anything alive? All right, so I'm going to play that there. Oh, this is just a tremendous amount of damage. No. Okay. And there. All right, I am fully committed on the defense. So this guy dies and goes to Jamie.
Yes.
And then this guy takes a point of damage. I did not have a infantry attack card that could possibly keep this guy alive. So it's tied for number of units. Neither of us are the battle owner. Both of us played attack cards, so it goes to a dice roll. 5, not bad.
That's not good enough. It's yours.
All right, kill goes to me. But that's okay. I wasn't offered any favor, and
Yeah.
Will, were you offered any
Yes,
favor to join in the fight?
I think. Well, I don't think I'd have agreed to anything.
No agreements.
All right, so then it is 6 coming in for 4 defense, so he takes 2. All right. So now we move to the defensive range phase.
Mm-hmm. So that's us attacking first, is it, or are we defending?
We were attacking
We're
first.
attacking, awesome.
That's
So
3.
I'm going to play my spear throw.
Okay, so that'll be... Ooh, that's perfect. Because it's a
Yeah.
+1 to whatever card you play, which is exactly 5, which
And
is
then
exactly enough to kill
That's
that
going
guy.
to sit like here, I think, isn't it? Something like that.
So match repeaters
I'll
are going
buy
to
it again.
attack that lady again.
Okay.
Will you
Yeah.
attacking this black beast? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Because I've got 2 attacks, so I've brought in my other guy who's got throwing a spear as well. So I've got, I've got here. I think that's 7, right? Yeah.
Use the card,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
sorry, yeah.
it's just a +1 to whatever you're playing, because this guy doesn't have a
Oh,
range
+1.
number.
Oh, yeah. So it's 5. So throw 5. So I could take out this guy on the this guy here, and then use my ranged guy to then help take out one of the others.
Well, these 2 people, the repeaters, are going to go against this person.
Yeah.
Just to try and overkill that.
Yeah, I could send my 2 into this and overkill this, leaving just this guy on the side.
Yeah, I don't think we need to overthink this. I'm just looking at
Yeah.
the board, and I'm not sure that's going to go on a particularly massive rampage and take
No,
out the.
no, I'll just send both mine.
Now
That's
I've,
fine.
I've done my
That's fine. I'll send
Kill the-
both of mine
Kill the
into
flank. No, kill the flank.
kill the flank. Okay, I'll send both into
Okay.
the flank then.
Yeah, because range has got no damage, and the range has got is weak anyway. So
Yeah. Okay. I'll send both into the flank. So I've got 5 plus 2. So that will be 7 going into that.
Matt,
So if I send
Okay.
7 into that, and then you're sending those 2 are killing this one, yeah.
we're fully committed.
Fully committed.
Okay.
Oof.
I am fully committed on the
So-
defense.
Okay, so you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coming through here, but you're getting rid of 7 of that, so only 1 point of damage comes through to your ranged person.
And this one takes 5 plus 2, so 7, minus 1 from the deal to take 6 points of damage. So that
And it's dead.
gets rid of that one. So that's my kill.
All right. So my ranged phase. Got a +5, so I'm going to do 7 damage on this cavalry over here.
Yeah, there's something we can do about that.
So that's it.
Yep.
Got it.
So that one's dead. It's mine, but I got to kill. All right. So that's my ranged phase. We go into the cavalry phase. I don't have any cavalry. We go into the defensive cavalry. You don't have any cavalry, so the cavalry phase is skipped. And then we go into the movement phase. Do you guys want to move any of your units around?
I'm going to take both mine too, and I'm going to bundle. Can I just bundle them?
Can't just move them over there, Jamie. They're either in the screen or they're on the flank, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So if you want to attack that archer, Jamie, what you would want to do is you would want to put both of your infantry into the flank. So then you can come around and attack.
Yeah, I'll put them both into the flank. Yeah, I'll put them both into the flank.
I'll allow it.
That was on 4.
Yeah, that was full.
And this one was 4, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'm putting my guys in there as well. Will, can you help me with this person?
Yeah.
Is that legal? Yes, because our ranged is still.
I don't feel like I really need your help dealing with that archer.
Yeah, but I don't have any like any honor for killing anybody, so that's why I'm 100% trying to kill somebody.
Okay, well, bit much, isn't it? But
Well, if you want to kill Adam, what we could do is you could move my spears out to the flank, and you could put your guys right here. So then you have 2 units coming in on the attack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you can do is you can tick this guy to show that he has weapon swapped. So instead of doing 1 damage, you do 3, and instead of 3 defense, you do 1.
Okay.
And yeah.
perfect. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys are good for movement?
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah, fully committed.
Fully committed.
All right. So discard phase. Get rid of any of cards that you don't want.
Oh, I've got a lot. I don't want that one. I don't want that one. I don't want that one. I don't want that. Not either.
What's the health on this one? That dice just rolled.
All right. Everybody's discarded?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
All right. Starting with Adam, you draw your hand back up to 7.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
you've done
going,
Okay.
Then Jamie, you can.
Jamie.
Then show ball.
Didn't want that.
And now
Cool. Then I can get mine. Okay. Sorted.
all right, and then bad guys. Oh, watch out. I'm going to get you now.
We'll see.
Yeah. I'll turn this battle around. All right. So, draw phase is done. I go on the attack. There we go. Fear me, I'm fully committed. With 9 damage.
Oof.
It's unalive.
On Adam.
What is it?
Oh, there it is. There's the denied. Oh my goodness. All right. All right. All that damage is gone. There we go. There's the -10. Good job.
Welcome.
I feel like you won this already, Adam. You know, that was the play, right?
All right. So now it's you guys. Your infantry can now attack en masse.
Yeah. So I'm going to.
So these three are.
Yep, those three all have to attack this dog. So far, it's oops.
These guys are attacking the crossbow, axe wielding, arrow wielding guy at the back.
Okay.
Flank.
These guys are also attacking. Both flanks are attacking the guy at the back, the lady at the back.
Okay.
These guys are obviously attacking the dog. So we're fully committed.
Fully committed.
Fully committed. Not even half. Proper fully committed. I like this. I like anything that any game that has like a catchphrase to it. So when you're like.
Okay, so this is 15 damage coming in on this black beast dog that only has 5 hit points left and 0 defense. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to steal from the discard pile this and cheat, and he still dies. So that to Adam, your kill. All right, and then this I have a range defense of 5, and I'm pretty sure that is just not enough. So range defense of 5 basically makes this card go away. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, no, I can't keep him alive. So he's toast, and Jamie gets the kill. And you guys win the battle. So now that the battle's done, it goes through all of the phases, all the way down to the discard phase. So if there are any cards that you don't want in your hand, you have another discard phase to get rid of them.
So we've done battles, and then we've done the play event phase in a bit.
Yep, we're just cleaning up the battle.
Cleaning up the battle. Okay, that's fine.
Do we draw our guys back into our army?
Yep, everybody goes home.
Their health stay the same?
Yep, health stays the same until the next build phase, when you can recover what damage they've taken.
Okay.
Oh, I
have a little pile here. And then this one is mine too. And then what about the guys that we've killed? We're just going to tally them up in a bit.
Yep.
And we can get rid of them. Awesome.
All right, Jamie, here are your 2 units you can take home.
Nice. I'll take them home. They can have a victory parade for their esteemed service. And then I've got these 3 guys, right? These 3 points. Are they points, are they?
Yeah, so for each kill that you have over in your area, that counts as 1 favor. So if you look at the card that says ranged on it, and you right-click, down at the bottom, there's favor total. So you add to that favor total for each of your kills. And then also, if you guys have built any buildings, add that as well. So I can see some of you have built your lumberyard.
Yeah.
So add that to the total as well.
So I get 3 plus 3, which is 6, and then I get 1 for my lumber mill. So that's 7.
Well,
got 1 for my kill. I got 2 for winning the battle. And then I got 1 for the building I'd done.
Nice. Right, my favour, I got 3, and then I've got a building, so that makes that.
All right. So everybody's recorded their favor. Everybody's got their units back home. I'm just going to put this back because he's dead. All right. So that's the only battle that we had. So then battles are considered complete. So now we do the play event cards. Now the play event cards, again, trying to keep as many people involved as possible. Everybody has access to playing event cards right now. So it's sort of open table again to play event cards. So if there are no negative events on anybody, so there's no real need to play positive event cards on yourself unless you want a +1 resource. And yeah.
So if I was playing an event card and I wanted to play this, so next round I get a cheaper unit. Is that possible?
So you would play that. You have a choice. You can either play it on your range, or you can play it on your barracks to make an infantry or archery better. So here's the 2 buildings.
Okay. So it'll just be that I can play it on one of those to improve that for the next time. So I'm going to put it on my infantry and cavalry.
Okay. So the very next unit that you train, whatever their resource cost is, you -1 on each of the values.
Perfect.
So your militia swords go from one of the most expensive units in Tier 1 to one of the cheapest.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have any cards they desire to play?
No, not a minute.
No.
All right. So then once everybody agrees that they are done playing the event cards, then it moves on to the overall discard phase for the round. We've already done our discarding.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to discard anything? Yeah. Discard that one, and I'll discard that one. I just picked up my hand. I didn't discard anything. All the other things are fine. I'll keep those. All right. So that's one whole round of play with a battle.
Mm-hmm.
In round 1, that is not normal. That's fairly rare to happen.
Okay.
Welcome.
So now we go back up to the top. The main player dice goes around clockwise. So now I'm the main player.
Mm-hmm.
And we go back to the top of the draw phase. It's not turn 4, so we don't draw war cards. And now in turn 2, we gather resources. Now, looking at the buildings that are complete, we add those values to our resource pools. So everybody has a keep. So everybody's coin goes up by 5. And most everybody has a lumberyard. So their lumber goes up by 1. And I think, Adam, you have your mine. So your metal goes up by 3.
And I've got a lumber mill that goes up by 3. I think.
Really hope we don't have another battle.
Yeah.
All right, everybody recorded their resources?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this will go a lot faster because there'll be a resource pad that records what turn it is and what resources you have, so it's really fast to write down. So then the next part is we draw from the combat deck. So our combat hands is back up to 7.
Mm-hmm.
I draw 2, and then Will, you can draw your hand back up to 7.
Okay, cool. So that's up to that's 4. Perfect.
And then Adam.
Boom.
And then Jamie.
Done.
You have to wait your turn, Jamie.
Listen, I thought I had, but clearly not. It's fine. It's normally Will that doesn't listen.
Is it fine? My card's just stealing.
They're all very good, in all honesty. Like, who wants a T plus 20 infantry attack card? No one.
Oh, Adam, thank you for following me on Instagram. That was very nice of you. I'll follow you back.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Okay, so now that the combat cards are done... oh, wow. You did a whole post and everything.
That's how I roll. And I'm still paying attention to what we're doing.
All right. Oh, that's great. It's showing up on my phone. This is great. All right. So then everybody draws one internal card.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm dreading this.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Is there another battle?
Battle. Luckily, luckily it's a small one. Ugh.
Will's fault.
That was from my hand. It's the developer's fault.
I've had a fire, probably started by Will. Oh, there's a coin.
Yeah. All right, I threw a fire.
What am I drawing? An event?
You're drawing one internal event card, and then we're dealing with them.
Okay,
So,
I didn't have any problems.
Adam, is this actually just attaches to your keep right here?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So your
Is that
coin,
like minus 4 on the turn?
yes. So whenever you
When I'm coming to
resources draw, instead of 5, it's 4.
That's great. It's not great, but I like that.
I had that come up. That's not
Yeah.
good, is it?
Oh, not another battle. How many battles are there? There's a 2 now, isn't there?
There's 2.
Oh, amazing. This is going to go well.
Oh no. Okay. Wow. All right. So now everybody draws one external event card.
Okay.
Is there a
Battles can't-
maximum limit? How many? Is there a maximum event limit you can have?
No. No maximum.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I got this, so I'm guessing this is immediate. So this goes either one of them's going to cost more. So
So, yeah, that can go on your barracks or your range, and you get to pick where it lands.
I could just cancel out the effect, but I'm not going to need any ranged for now, so I'll just put it there and sort it out
So
later.
yes, that is a good point. What happens is, like, let's say you have to play it on your barracks for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's in order in which it happens. So you played this first.
Yeah.
So they just go in order. So
Yeah.
your next unit is minus, and then the unit after that is plus.
Oh, okay, so they're separate. So they're considered separate. Okay. I'm going to leave it on that one and just deal with it.
Okay. All right. So I've got to. I'm main player, so I've got to roll this dice to figure out how many baddies. Please, low number.
Oh.
Okay.
You never ask the dice for a low number. It will always give you the opposite.
Well, at least overall, it's a small battle.
Yeah.
What about
So-
my battles? We're not doing my battle.
Oh, yeah
We are. We have to do all the battles. So you have to roll your dice, and we have to see what we're facing.
Ouch.
7.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is why I need to now.
Okay, so that's the event draw. So now we go into the build phase. Now, again, the game is opened up to players to being able to heal their units. So how you heal units is you spend 1 coin
Mm-hmm.
and you have 5 troop strength to spread across your units that are damaged. And that can be spread in any way. So if, like, you have 2 units, one has 2 damage, the other one has 3 damage, you spend 1 coin, and both of those are back up to full health because the amount of troop damage on them is 5.
Okay. I'm not doing that just yet. So I'm not healing mine
Yep.
just yet.
And then if there are any abilities that you want to buy back, they're obviously 1 coin for each ability.
I'm not doing that just yet. I've got enough for now, so I should be alright for another round. Probably after that, I'll probably be spending the money on recovering my army. I need to build the troops up.
Well, the two battles we have is one, we can field a maximum of 5 units, which between all of us, we're good.
Yeah.
And then the other one is a maximum of 8 units, which I'm pretty sure, even with my loss, we're all good.
Mm-hmm. What's the stone used on? Let's see what it's used on. Okay. So I'm guessing we're building now. So I'm going to spend 5 on that.
You know it's serious when everybody's quiet and just trying to
spend
out.
So Matt,
on this.
how do the tier 2 and tier 3 things come into play when you're playing the full game of this?
Okay, so how they come into play is once you have all of your tier 1 buildings finished, you'll start gathering stone, because the first thing that you can build for tier 2 is your keep. Your keep sort of sets your technology level. So then you spend once you have the number of resources that you need to get your tier 2 keep built, then you spend the resources, and then the tier 2 keep takes a certain number of turns to come completely online. Once it's online, it unlocks the other buildings for purchase, and then you sort of start over with what you're doing right now, building those buildings, getting into tier 2 barracks and range, so then you can get into those tier 2 units.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's sort of like a early game, mid game, late game, sort of tech progression or nation progression that you see in a few other sort of war games.
What kind of like play time are you expecting for a 4-player game for this when you've got all 3 tiers in there?
It's going to have similar playtime to games like Gloomhaven and Journeys of Middle-earth and Imperial Assault, those sorts of games, to where you sort of set aside a block of time to play, and then once
it's kind of like it's a whole kind of afternoon or evening kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Because right now we're playtesting a game, and we're playing the short game, which is 125 favor, and we're in the high 20s, low 30s for our numbers of turns, and we're sitting around 100 favor between each of the players. Not between, but each player sitting around 100. So we're almost to the end there, and we're just getting into tier 3, and that took us like 3 or 4 sessions of like 2 to 3 hours each.
Okay.
So
is there a save? It sounds like there's a save mechanic in the game itself.
Yes, there is a save mechanic in the game, and this is one thing that I think really sets my game apart. Is firstly, there's going to be a 100% organizer with this game, because this game is going to come with 1,127 cards, which is a lot of cards.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's going to be an organizer system to where you don't have to go get a Ziploc baggie, you don't have to go to Broken Token or anywhere else and spend $30, $40 on a game that you're already spending however much on to get an organizer system to go with it. The game will come in the box, a full organizer system. Now, that organizer system, I've already got a prototype of it, so I can actually show you guys a picture.
Okay.
It will come out of the box, and you will set one next to you. So you see how all these cards are sort of ranging all over the table?
Yeah.
That organizer system takes all these cards that you, like the buildings that you don't have built, and these core units that you aren't currently interacting with, they all go into the card organizer system. So really what you have in front of your table is you have your card organizer, your internal external deck, your army sheet, your resource sheet, and your buildings. That's it. You don't have any of the rest of these cards sitting out. So the table space that the game demands isn't too bad, actually.
It doesn't.
I didn't say it's not like, when you get like a game like Gloomhaven, what you end up with is like half your house being invaded by bits just to play. And what's quite nice about this is that you've got like just it seems to be a small amount of cards, and the battle is just really awesome. So.
Yeah, it's good on table space, so people with smaller tables won't have to do anything particularly special to get my game out. The other thing with that card organizer system, and I need to fully answer your question earlier, is setup for this game is 5 minutes or less. Breakdown for this game is 5 minutes or less. This game is a full war strategy game, as your guys are seeing, but it can get out on the table fast and get off the table fast. On the you'll have a resource sheet, which that'll have what turn it is and what resources you have recorded. Then you have an army sheet that records what units you have, and on the back of the army sheet, there will be spaces where you can record what buildings you've got built and what events are on them or not on them. And if the building's like partway through building, there will be spaces for you to record all that information. So with those 2 sheets of paper, the game is fully saved. You can pack it all up, put it back on the shelf, and move on. And then whenever you come back, you just get that stuff out. It's already organized, everything's recorded, and you can get back into the game really fast.
We're back. So it's bittersweet for me, Adam.
Why is that?
Well, because I'm sad that we had to leave because it's very, very late at this point. It's about like 20 to 11 on like a random Thursday evening. That's really bitter. But the sweet thing is I actually think I found a game for my game of 2021. I think I'm going to keep coming back to this.
What I love, Jamie, is the fact we have we'll play a game on Tabletop Simulator, then straight after, that's my game of 2021. High Noon was that. At some point you're going to have to think of what your games of 2021 are. I, however, say that this is one of the most interesting war games I have ever played, and I played at least 3.
I think getting back to your point, the problem is if you look at the games we played, they've all been very different. They're not been like your standard board game, one for a better word. Maybe we just haven't played a board game for that long that we forgot. The mechanic in this game was really nice, and it was blown away.
I think if you're watching this, you've managed to watch through all however many hours we've been playing this for, because I've lost all track of time here. Then you probably have a general idea of how we kind of felt about this, and that was very positive. This is a game which it does what one of those big 4X games like Burning Suns for your reference, Jamie, but Twilight Imperium, that kind of thing. It does something like that, but you can set it up in multiple sessions and not have to lug stuff around. So there's just so many positives coming out of this.
And Burning Suns for me was a surprise game. You know how much that surprised me. I had a similar feeling. Me, Adam and I are really bad. We're private message each other when we're playing. Mainly because if we were playing in real life, we'd be giving the eye saying we're gonna. And I remember coming into it, and I remember thinking, this is not going to be my game. And I think I messaged you and said, this is going to be a game that Will is going to absolutely love.
Your exact phrase was, "Oh, this is a Will game." This was which kind of means a game where you can backstab people. You're on the same side, but you can backstab people, and that's what I think Jamie was worried that at any point Will would just throw everyone under a bus for his own insane purposes.
However, as we got into it, actually, I just felt like the mechanics in the game really protected you from a Will style player, because actually, there were cards and events that would just stop you from doing what Will does, which is creating this super army just for one purpose, which is you're effectively the Terminator of board game players. Well, what you do is you just
just appear out of nowhere, eliminate them, and then I'm just gone.
So I felt in relative safety, and the thing is you ally up with other players. So I was immediately allied up with Adam. So we had our sort of gentleman's agreement there that we would look after each other.
That is exactly it. It's a gentleman's agreement, Jamie. We never speak about it, but we always we're not going to attack each other. It's a gentleman's agreement. We've never said this out loud, but that's basically what this is. It's not a let's get Will. It's a gentleman's agreement.
We should do if only we could do like a series where we like fire at will.
And just us as well. Maybe we'll put something in the pipeline for that. So we'll try not to waffle on too much. It's just quite nice talking to each other after like playing a few rounds of that. So I'm just going to say the things that I really enjoyed about the game. So firstly, just pretty much everything. Firstly, I really enjoyed the fact that when you are doing a battle, there is a battle leader, and they get to strategically choose who they're bringing into the battle. So let's say, for instance, Will might have been like powering away with all the kind of favor and stuff like that. He was winning. I might decide, actually, I don't want to have Will help me in this regards. I want to actually just use Jamie and use Matt, who's playing with us, and try and get some victory points that way, so that I can try to curve around him winning. The main thing that I really enjoyed about this is a co-op game, but is competitive at the same time. You are all actively working to quell this rebellion that's going on, but at the same time, you're trying to get favor off of the kind of king, I guess, who's like in charge of this realm, so that you can kind of maybe usurp the throne at some point. Which Will probably would have done at some point. But yeah, so I really enjoyed that. It was not a game where, when you get a war game to the table, you're pretty much certain, there's going to be a lot of take that against each other. Someone might get ganged up on and feel kind of a bit upset about that. You might have, like, in cooperative games, you might have alpha players and stuff. But yeah, for me, the fact that it was cooperative but competitive was a really huge selling point for this. Yeah, so...
I'm going to say the other thing that because of time, actual physical time, unless we were going to do a video that's like 16, 18 hours long, is that there are levels to level it up. So it's a bit like Civilization, or if we go really old school, like Command and Conquer, and I like that building and leveling up and going up style game.
Tech tree.
Sorry,
tech tree kind of thing.
Tree, yeah. But much more longer term, you build your keep, you make that level 2, and then you get better barracks and you get better defenses. And so to me, that was quite cool, because like if you look at a game like Gloomhaven, you're leveling up your characters, and your characters in the next level become a lot stronger, blah 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 blah. So it's quite nice that your focus isn't just on a character; it's on your almost like your little world. And that's how you sort of saw it. You put some resources into the battle.
It's kind of like your house, isn't it? What thematically this reminded me of was Game of Thrones, where you have like a group of people who are not really friendly with each other, working against something, but at the same time working against each other. So it kind of reminded me a little bit, but not like, this really felt like Game of Thrones. It felt like its own thing. It's just thematically, that was probably the closest thing I could probably equate this to. Will, you've not really said much, because Jamie and I
you're just enjoying it. I've really liked the strategy of it. Yeah, so I've really liked the strategy of it. I got the feel more like towards, I suppose it's because I've been watching it recently, the Vikings series, in the fact that you're like different earldoms, they group together and then go on raids. But in this sense, you're like grouped together, but you're protecting yourself from an invading force and uniting in that sense. But I like the strategy element of when you send your troops, you can choose how many you want to offer as a assistance for when you actually go into combat, and you also get a say in where those get placed, which means that you can then either try and position them in a way that you can get more kills out of combat, so that you can then get more fame points out the back of it. So it's sort of that balance and a way that you've got a way of impacting a combat, even though you may not be managing it yourself. And I feel having that sort of strategy element and having a way that you can manipulate that choice is a different way that you can like affect how the game outcome is going to be without having too much sort of visibility on it. It's sort of like a subtle way of like taking points from someone else without actually going, hey, I'm just going to take your points away. I think
that's I think you're right there. That's a really key point. Do you know what went in my head and it immediately went out? It's kind of like live video recording, right? You're just like, what was it I just meant to say?
I could see you just glazing over there, Jamie, and then I was like, what is he even agreeing to now? He doesn't know. Yeah, one other thing that was very good about this is there's no player elimination. And when you're playing a war game, there is going to be player elimination at some point. So there's no player elimination because if one character loses all their armies, then it's game over for everybody because of the whole competitive, cooperative nature of this. So, I think Matt said that he'd been working on this for like about 4 years in total, maybe. And it's only been the last 2 and a bit years he's been really working on getting this into a, play testing, refining. And this was a play test of just the tier 1 kind of level. But yeah, it just really felt one of the most balanced games I've played in a long time.
I think we have to be fair though, because I think with all of these things we always try and find a negative, and I think if you've got to this point and you're looking at it, there is a negative. For me, there was a negative, and that was coming into it. It felt like it could be really overwhelming. It felt like there was, we're talking about over 1,000 cards, and we're talking about like a reasonable rule set. When we were really lucky that we had the creator of the game going through and explaining it almost like this is how this goes, this is how this goes. I don't think this is a game that you could necessarily pick up and just bring it to the table without expecting it to, for the first at least round, if not 2 rounds, to take a long time.
It's a heavy game, so it's got that the entry level for this is quite high. So if this is going to be the first kind of game like this you're going to play, it's going to take you like a while to get your head around the rules, I guess. Whereas, like you say, Jamie, we have the creator here, so we could basically ask questions as and when things happen. That's a valid point.
Yeah, and I think that's important because how many times do you read comments on like the Board Game Geek group on Facebook and someone's gone, I've got this game but it's unplayable because the rule book's too big. There was a whole conversation the other day about like Laws of Xidis and I've got the game but there's too many components. And actually it's probably one of the most easiest games to learn. But I put off playing it for a year, because I just looked at the box and I was just like, that's too much for me. And I think it's only fair to sort of say it's a fantastic game, and when it's all laid out on the table, there aren't many components, there aren't many things. But I can imagine when the box comes with the organizer and all the bits and pieces that you look at it and you get the rule book and you're going to go,
which I think he circumvented that in some ways due to the fact they've got like how to play videos and stuff like that. And I think by the time this comes around, once this gets to Kickstarter, it will probably have like a fairly good rule book and some fairly good like things. But you are right, Jamie. It's quite a high level entry. So if you are coming into this quite fresh off of the games you played, then and they're all quite light, then this would be a bit of a jump for you. I think once you've it took us around an hour to hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half, an hour to really kind of understand the intricacies of combat and like strategy that's involved in that. But it's one of those games that once you've played that like a couple of rounds and you played it correctly a couple of rounds, it'd be quite intuitive. You'd know exactly what you need to do. Like Matt said, he's going to save this game. I'm very up for continuing this game because it was really good. And I can imagine the turns would probably be quicker because you would have.
I'm just hoping we're not filming it Thursday because I really want to. I really want to just carry on with where we are at. So Well, without further ado, I think we've done a lot of positives and a very light negative, which for us is pretty bad because normally we've got
yeah. The thing is, we try not to be so glowing with everything because then it kind of like goes against us having a critical view on things. So
I'm really struggling. I'm genuinely really struggling, and I had the same thought when we played High Noon. Like I really struggled to find any negatives with it, and I think this comes back to one really good point that everyone, I think, when you have a board game creator who's really passionate about the game that they are playing, that they're creating, and they're putting off and offering up, like that shines through every single time for me. And like the similarities, both those games, they've been really invested in. The content creator is like really invested in the game and has like played it and balanced it. And for for the money you're getting, you are getting a really, really good game. And if only some of the bigger games publishers, like that, what was that nonsense that we played? The one that was a game that had a crappy box. What was it? The one that you bought, Will?
Oh, what Horizon?
A computer game.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's the one. Horizon Zero Dawn. What they need to do is ring these content creators up and go, "Hi, how do we make a board game?" Because that to me says it all. Like, good quality game. Like, it's like the difference between buying a crap packet of crisps and like a high quality packet of crisps.
Oh, I think that's a great kind of analogy to end it on there. Before we get into the old spiel of where you can find something like that, I'd just like to quickly point out that you can, if you want to, play this game on Tabletop Simulator with Matt himself, the creator, by going to their Discord. And I will put a link in here so you can chat with Matt and understand a bit more about this game. Maybe have some questions that we might not have answered in this. So I'll put a link in this video so that you can follow that.
Well, it's that time. It's that time for us to leave. And I know that you've got to 3 hours into this video at this point, and you are with us emotionally, physically, and spiritually. But we need you to do something. We need you to help us, to help you carry on. We need you to follow us on social media. And you can find us on all of the social media: Facebook, Twitter, not LinkedIn. That's not a real one. YouTube, definitely not TikTok, and a little bit of Twitch. I don't know. Are we on Twitch? No. And Will always throws in Discord. But make sure that if you're watching us on YouTube, you click like and subscribe, and you'll follow those notifications. Ding that bell. Start that from life in the middle, and stay safe and keep rolling.